let me just quickly highlight one thing. In Salesforce, whether you will be a developer or not, that is immaterial. But admin is something you have to start with. So before
Okay.
you proceed with the development or everything, so the admin is the best. You have to understand how Salesforce runs. We have to understand the Salesforce clearly, what how the platform has been developed and how that is useful for our day-to-day life. I mean, how the application can be developed. So then there is a point comes that you will take a decision that whether you'll go for development or not, right? Let me share my screen and let's start the discussion. So can you somebody tell me whether I'm are able to see my screen? Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay, so I have just shared a notepad. Okay, okay. So now, before I quickly in the first 10-15 minutes, I'll discuss what is cloud and what is Salesforce. Then probably we'll discuss what is that we can do in as a Salesforce by learning the Salesforce, right? So, what is Salesforce? Obviously, it's a cloud vendor, right? So when I say it's cloud vendor, or I can say cloud company also, right? So, and what are the different kind of cloud way? But then the point here comes as what is cloud? That means uh, before if we talk of any development, software development, so what typically we need? We need infrastructure, right? We need then operating like server is there where you need to install our operating system, then some certain programming. So before cloud, the traditional way of development is like you should have your infrastructure ready, and then you have to have your all supported hardware, software that has been installed and has to be managed from your office or somewhere to develop. Then you call a group of people to start development of your application, right? So where the challenge here is like whenever you are spending some time and money and trying to develop some application, you are not sure that whether you could able to succeed with the application that you planned, right? You may fail to do that, right? Whether you don't know whether your business is going to run or not, right? So in traditional business, traditional development, there are high risk attached, right? So high risk attached means what? That means whatever you're planning initially, you are spending hell lot of money, time to develop your application. Then it will come to market. People may accept, may not accept, right? That's a risk attached. And the unnecessary stuff you have to do here, like you have to hire people to kind of manage the resources that you have your hardware, your operating system. You have to, that means you hire admin users, admins, right? Those admin people is going to take care of your infrastructure, correct? But then what happens in cloud? In cloud, everything is available handy. Everything is available handy means based on a requirement, you ask the cloud vendor to provide. So whenever I talk about cloud, it is basically some application is running remotely. Application is running remotely, and you can say application means your server. Application in server is running remotely, and we just need certain resources from that server, and then start using it, right? So whenever requesting for resources, like for example, when I say resources, it may be like a virtual machine, and you need a virtual machine where you need to have your operating system installed, your application is installed, your programming language installed. You can start developing the application. No need to worry about your infrastructure, no need to worry about the platform, no need to worry about your programming language. Everything is available to you. It is just start developing the application the way you want, right? And here there is a server remotely present, right? So server is remotely present, right? For an example, say I'm currently sitting in Pune, and I'm referring to Salesforce, and the server of Salesforce is present in Singapore because I'm into Asia Pacific region, right? So somebody is in US, they may be referred to the server present in North America. And now, if we talk of cloud, in cloud, what all models are there? Cloud model. So in cloud model, you can say probably you might have heard of this cloud model like public cloud. Probably you might have heard of something called private cloud, and the third one comes as a hybrid cloud. So These are the different model, right? So now you might have heard of different cloud names, everything. You may not be clear on that. So when it's a public cloud, what happens? Like an organization have their own cloud, and that is accessible to the employees or users of that particular specific organization. For example, it is a State Bank of India is a banking application of State Bank of India, and if they have their cloud, they have their application available, and a certain information is not accessible to outside user. So that means that application is accessible to those they are employee of the employee of the State Bank of India. So here, when I say it's Salesforce, when I say for your State Bank of India, so you might heard of in State Bank of India there is a core banking, right? In core banking, what happens is they have their own server. That one server is present in somewhere in maybe Mumbai, maybe somewhere in Delhi, or there might be multiple servers present. So the point here to be noted that in when I say it's a private cloud, what I'm typically meaning here is that the Salesforce have their own server that is connected to internet, that is accessible through internet, but it is restricted to the State Bank of users. And again, when it's a State Bank users, it may not be accessible to everybody. There is some restrictions. We can say some specific user can able to access the core banking concepts of State Bank of India. I'm taking not the typical way that how we're going to access your banking account, not that part. There's certain information that is not exposed to other users. It's purely the private because it is restricted to the certain users. That is what is private. Then coming back to the private public concept, what is public cloud? In public cloud, what happens? Let's say it is Gmail or a Google account we're creating. We're creating a Google account. That means this Google account is accessible to everybody. So whoever is wants to create the account, they can create. There is no restriction to anybody. Obviously, whenever you create your account, that is obviously accessible to you only. That's fine. But whenever creating a Google account, it's purely public, and anybody at anywhere can able to create a Google account, and that Google is available in cloud, and we are using the Google cloud to create a Google account, correct? And what about the hybrid cloud? Hybrid cloud is something like it is combination of your private cloud and public cloud. So for an example, when I say I'm taking the example of State Bank of India application. Let's say SBI has its application. They have their core banking, right? And that core banking is restricted to SBI employees, let's say. And now what SBI plan to have Salesforce in their application. That means whenever you take Salesforce, so which is a public cloud application, that means here, so the Salesforce will be a public cloud, and this is your private cloud, core banking SBI. So whenever integrating say the core banking of State Bank of India with the Salesforce, which is a cloud vendor, which is a public cloud that is accessible to everybody. That means the integration of State Bank of core banking application with Salesforce, it combiningly give you a feature called core hybrid cloud concept, right? So probably you can able to understand the basics of what is a private cloud, what is a public cloud, what is a hybrid cloud. This is the cloud deployment model, cloud model rather you can say. Then the point here is what are services provided by cloud? So I can say cloud services. So this thing you might be heard that the different cloud services provided are like infrastructure as a service, platform is a service, and third is software as a service. You might have heard of this thing, software as a service. So now when I say it is infrastructure as a service, what does it mean here? I mean here that there is a cloud, it only provides the infrastructure. So when I'm saying it in infrastructure, I mean my all hardware that is required, all networking components required, all operating system that is installed, and then all the storage that is required. That means when I say it is infrastructure, I mean required hardware, networking, operating system, and storage has been configured, and now it is made a virtual machine. That means I instead of I'm using my physical. This is the machine is a physical machine I'm using. So you'll be getting a virtual machine where the required hardware like all RAM storage will available. The networking has been connected very thoroughly to give the access to the different components of the hardwares. Then we have the required operating system. You choose what is the operating system you need. You choose what is the storage amount you need. That means ultimately you're getting a virtual machine, and there now you have to take a call that what is that you have to install in this virtual machine. Maybe I need to install Java, for an example, and maybe Java I want to install. I can use install Java. They can start coding the program. So now the point to be noted when I say I'm getting a I'm getting service as part of like infrastructure service in this situation. Exactly, I'm getting a virtual machine, and I have to choose what is that I have to install. Then I start developing my application over here. Now, when I'm getting a virtual machine, no need to bother about it at any position across globe, wherever I am. If I have connected to internet, I can able to access the virtual machine and start developing my application. Correct. And what about platform as service? In platform as a service, I have that IaaS plus what additional thing I'm getting here is the platform. When I say platform, the programming language, operating system, everything comes as a package. Programming language, OS, whatever, or say system software, I can say, or everything has been present as part of my platform service. Now, what is that I need? Only I have to bother about what exactly I need. In platform and service, you have to understand what is the system software installed, what is the programming language installed. So you have to understand that because it may be probably it's not like Java like programming you have been given. It may be something some different kind of programming concept may be given by that cloud vendor. You have to understand that cloud. What is the you have to learn that particular cloud. Then only you can start developing the application. The example I can say here it is your Salesforce, and for infrastructure I have not given any name. So for infrastructure service, I can say it is Amazon Web Service, Microsoft Azure. Probably you might have heard of this, and Google Cloud. These are called your infrastructure service. I mean, Amazon, Microsoft, Azure, Google Cloud. They provide infrastructure service. Whenever it is platform service, and it is Salesforce who provide your platform as service feature. So here, the last part which come your software service. In software service, everything is available. You have your infrastructure as service, you have your platform as a service, plus you have your ready-made applications available. Now what I can do, you have to basically think of customizing the application. No coding required here. So no coding required. Only you have to customize the application and start. That means you can configure the way you want the application because the ready-made application is available. You have to customize the application. You have to develop the either you are not without any coding here. You can start developing application which can quickly and faster. Maybe probably in a hour, in 2 hours, in a day, you can develop application. You can start using it. So that is the benefit. And with respect to this, again, Salesforce is the vendor which provides this software and services. Now, to kind of uh, control my discussion over here. So now our focus is we have to understand what is Salesforce, and as I explained you that Salesforce provides platform as service, Salesforce provides software as service. I'll quickly show you that what is the platform and software as services, and more or less here. So it is Salesforce who provides platform as services and software services, but it is not providing you the infrastructure. But you cannot ask Salesforce, hey, can you provide me the infrastructure service? No. Whenever requesting for platform, so then they may provide you the required infrastructure that is required for you, but they cannot only give you the infrastructure. Similarly, whenever we're using Salesforce, and if you're using your software service, cloud service, then probably it is come as an inbuilt feature like infrastructure, platform, everything that you can use, right? So now, why Salesforce? The question is why Salesforce? Why Salesforce? Because so it is a cloud vendor, and so basically it supports PaaS, it supports SaaS. Because of these two, what happens here is that it is easy for the end user to quickly develop the application, and the user or the vendor or the company no need to bother about the infrastructure, no need to bother about the operating system, programming language. Everything comes by default by the Salesforce, and it is easy for you to kind of quickly develop. The other important point here is in Salesforce, it is called low coding. Why it's low coding? Because the certain thing can be taken care as part of your software services, right? As I mentioned, there are applications available handy. You have to understand how this is built, and you have to know the platform. Once you are thorough with this, you can quickly develop one application. So here, without so like we have with the minimal coding, you can develop an application. That's why it's called low coding. And so here, and it supports your all type of applications like web applications. It supports your backend application. It supports your ML applications, supports IoT. It supports data, all type of application that is required that can be developed, right? It requires enterprise applications. Everything can be developed in Salesforce, right? There is no such application which you cannot develop. Now, there was a situation initially where there was a restriction that Salesforce was not helping initial stage, but now at this moment in 2022, the Salesforce is matured enough to handle all kind of application. That is the reason Salesforce is high in demand. So any sorts of application you develop, it is Salesforce is going to provide you all type of solutions. Doesn't matter what it and all kind of recent applications you can able to develop. It may be your machine learning, deep learning, IoT, enterprise applications, telecom applications, health cloud applications, anything, web-based applications, anything that you need that is available. So now here, the important or the attracting part here is that so you can quickly develop an application in a week, in a day, and depends on and how you need the application. Another point here is the Salesforce charge based on the usage. For an example, you earned the virtual instance for 10 days. You have to pay for 10 days only, and you need certain feature for 1 month, you have to pay for 1 month only. Here, the as per the cloud concept, uh, based on your usage, you have to pay for it, correct? And like suppose you need 5 users for 5 days, you have to pay for 5 days only, and you need for whatever. So you need 100 license for 10 days. They can give you everything can be quickly customized, and that will available for you. You can able to use it, and I mean hardly you take any headache towards your infrastructure, platform, and services, and you have to focus on the business part of it. That what is that you want to develop, right? So now coming back to the quick technical part of it, as I mentioned in Salesforce, we create the virtual instance, right? So that's called VM. So virtual instance. So virtual instance is nothing but a virtual machine that is remotely present. So you have to get a virtual machine, and in that virtual machine you have to start developing the application. So Salesforce actually initially helps the user to create the virtual instance or virtual machine with free of cost. And Salesforce provides a developer edition orgs. What is org here? Org is nothing but an organization. So that means the way we create a Gmail account, pretty much similar process. We can create a Salesforce org, right? Let me quickly show you that what is that I'm referring here. What is a developer edition org? What is a virtual instance? Now, and whatever I'm showing, it's freely available. So if you go to this, let me create a virtual instance. If you simply say Google, and put a comment saying that Salesforce free developer edition account, you can see uh, Salesforce free developer account per se. So now you can get a link here saying that sign up for Salesforce developer edition. Developer edition is something like it's a virtual instance. It's free available to develop or learn the development, right? So just click here, and you will land to the particular link where you have to put your name. Let's say it's a Param and Anand. Here I can put my email address, say this. For example, I am giving this address, and the role is say developer. Company name say ABC Systems. Okay. Then whatever. So India and the country code. This I'm putting as 411001 for say this is Pune code. Now in username I'm putting here say demo. It is param at demo12.com. Demo12.com or 13 I can say demo13.com. So remember here what is important, the username should be unique name and it should be like the way we use the email address, something at the rate something.com, right? Back rest of the things are given all the details. So then I'll say sign me up. So remember this process I'm showing you to create a free developer edition org, and you are absolutely not to pay anything to Salesforce. So I clicked on sign me up. It will take a couple of seconds. So in the meantime, do you have any questions, anybody? Okay, see, it has been processed and the email has been sent to the details sent to my email address. Probably I'll log into my email address that I mentioned over there. The account I mentioned here. The problem is I'm already logged into another account. Let me just type here. It's Paramananda Atvarik. Okay. So okay, so basically I try to log into my Gmail address where whatever I given, you can see not received the email. Sometimes takes time. So sometimes it may take time to get that email. We have to wait for it. And I wanted to show you that how it looks basically. So remember, basically we're supposed to receive an email, which I'm not receiving it right now. It maybe take some time. In the meantime, let me do one thing. Whatever org I've created, let me log into this org. So basically, you saw that what's the login process, right? Then you have to use the URL called login.salesforce.com. I've just created saying that param at demo 11, demo 13 something. So I have one org created already previously. I can use that org. Say it is demo 6. Let me put my password. In the meantime, also see if I have received or not. Yeah, perfectly fine. You can see that email account has been received here. Are you able to see everybody? I received the email. Welcome to Salesforce. Verify your account.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah. So if you open that email, you will get this detailed information saying that so whatever account number you given, param at demo 13, whatever, and you have to click on verify account. In that case, it will take you to the page where you are supposed to set the password. Look at this. Yeah, you are getting this. I'll put my password, and there's a root attached to this password, like the normal way they will do for Gmail something. So you have to set your password, and you have to answer the questions you have. Not much. What happened? Matching. And which city one? There's a question. There are a list of questions you have to select. In case you forgot the password, this question answer will help you. So this is what I given. To change password. And that means this process helps me to kind of set the password for the org. Look at this. Now you are into the Salesforce. Probably you can able to see the default page, right? So the moment you got it, this is the with default UI you're getting here, right? In this default UI, are you able to see something called 9 dot setup home? This is called home tab. These are called tabs: setup tab, home tab, object manager. So in Salesforce, this is my organization, correct? And this is something, the virtual instance. This is something I'll be using to develop the application, to customize the application. That means for me, this is my software services, this is my platform services, correct? So now I'll differentiate. For example, I'll first focus what is software services. In this Salesforce org means, remember, this is organization. So in this application, in the left hand side, you can see an option called quick find. So here you can search for any information. Say there's some searching for company information. So here I can see company information. I'll click on company information. So you know that there is certain details I filled right now to create the org, right? I have given the company name as ABC System. I have given the name as Paramanand, and the country I've chosen is India, and I have given this what we call username, password, everything I said, right? The company information talks about the details of organization, number of license available, permissions. This is some topic where we have to understand and learn. But what I'm trying to convey over here is this is company information. Let me search for the number of users present here. I'll quickly write as user. It will take me, their options are coming. I'll say here, click on users. Then I can see the list of users. Now by default, this is the user I just created, right? Demo13.com is the admin user, and the rest of the user is coming by default from Salesforce platform. This is your starter user. This is for integration user. This is a security user. This is by default given by the Salesforce. Now, the important part here is whenever referring the Salesforce, that is software services. What does it mean? Where I can see the applications. So look at this. So here you can see that 9 dot in the left hand side, right? This is called application launcher. In short, we say app launcher. If we clear app launcher, it will show me the applications already available. By default, it's coming. So here you can say view all. When you say view all, it will show you the app launcher detail page where it show you the detailed application that has been already present by default from Salesforce. That means Salesforce is a cloud vendor. They've started their business as a CRM, from a CRM field, like customer relationship management. So that means they've started their business with Sales Cloud and Service Cloud. And these are the two features by default given to the each and every user to understand the platform, right? So here you can say Service Cloud, Marketing Cloud, all these are available. So I can search for sales, for example. I'm searching for sales. So I can say sales here. I can click here. The moment I click here, look at the page, it's getting refreshed. Now I'm loaded with a sales application now. In the sales application, I can see everything here, right? So you can see in sales we have opportunity, lead, account contact. So this is something we have to. This is part of our software services. So now, why it is called software services? Let's, for example, in sales application, I want to create a lead. I'll go to tab of the leads, and I say new. So now I can able to create a lead. So now for me, I have not done anything. No development, nothing, right? So I'm giving the password number here. Sorry, mobile number, say 988 and I've given the mobile number here. So now the form I'm getting right now, this has been already been developed by Salesforce, and that's the reason I'm simply using it, right? So I'm putting here, say Rasmi Joshi, for example, and companies ABC systems, great. So now here you can see this is called mandatory field followed by a star here in red, and there are certain fields not mandatory, right? So let me just quickly fill up its some data points here, and yeah, so I can save it. That means what I'm trying to convey you here is that the record I've created, the lead record, that is completely developed by Salesforce, right? For me, nothing to worry about it. I have to understand how the Sales Cloud works. I have created a lead account, correct? So similarly, I can create a account record, exactly similar process. You can see the page is already been developed. I can go into opportunity. I can create a new opportunity. Okay. So that means what I'm seeing here, the sales application is available handy. It's already been developed. Similarly, I have provision to select service application. You can see here service. The moment you select the service application, you look at this, the tabs has been changed. So these are called the tabs. The tab is nothing but an object here. So in service application, I have charter, account, contact, case, report, dashboard, everything is available. Okay, so now, okay, darling. So now this is my called Salesforce services, right? Platform software services. Any doubt anybody on this? You can create your case record. That means whatever you can see here is readily available. That's the reason we're saying that it is the part of your software services. Anybody, any questions as of now? Any questions, anybody?
No, sir.
So now what I'm trying to differentiate that, I've referred you something saying that this is my software service part of Salesforce. I'll quickly show you the platform and services part of it. In platform and services part, we purely develop the application. We plan and develop the application we want, right? Okay, sorry. So you can hear me? So now I'll quickly show you what is that platform and services application. So here, this is my Salesforce application. So here you can see in the right hand side, there is an option called setup. And now in Salesforce, before I move with the platform, so you can see if you click here and setup, you can see option called developer console. Developer console is something that will help you to understand that how you can develop the application. Correct. So here you can see I have in for any development what we need an editor, right? In editor, this helps us to kind of understand that how to develop. Here you can see I want to develop some message. I want to develop something. I have to write some code or something. Here I can say this is my editor. Here I'm writing that system dot. Probably you may not know this. Let me just show you. Say hello world. Now here I'm using the platform and service part of it. I'll just run it. I'll execute this code, and I can see the debug only option over here. It show me that hello world. So let me write a program. So addition of two numbers, for example. So I'm saying that integer, the first number is number one, and the value is say 10. Put a semicolon. So another is integer number two. It's a num2. The value is say let's say 20. So I have two numbers. I have to add here. Say integer sum equals to num1 plus num2. This much you know, whoever learns basic programming. Now to display the result here, system dot. I'm just trying to show you some programming. Don't worry what is the program all about. I'm just trying to convey that this is my platform part of it, right? So I can say sum of two number is equal to, after single quote I can say plus and call the variable sum here. I'll execute this, run this program here. Okay, some error comes. Okay, so here integer is mistake here, integer, integer, correct. So let me run it, execute. I did it. So I'll select a debug log only. I can say here sum of the two number is 30, right? And this is my program, 10, 20, 30, right? That means what I'm trying to show you that this part pretty much, this part, this was pretty much the sum of two numbers, correct? Now let me show you one more thing here, that database concept quickly. So this is developer console, and in this console, I know that in my Salesforce application, we have something called Sales Cloud, Service Cloud I've shown, correct? I have some account object, some account record is available. If you say all account, I can see some account record already been developed and shown given by the Salesforce. Now what I'm going to do here is that I'll go to the query editor. You can see here, right? There is option called query editor. I can write a query over here. So the Salesforce provides this query part of it. So you can write, let's say, like the way we write the query for a structured query language SQL. Here we have a different one. It is like SOQL, subject Salesforce object query language. So how it looks like, select, let's say I want to write a query here, select ID, comma name from account. So account in object already present. If I run here, execute, see, it is showing me the list of accounts. How many accounts are present? Total 13. If I go here, check here the total accounts, you can see it is 13 number of accounts. Here also I can see the total number of accounts present, right? All accounts. All the 13 number of accounts are present. Let me quickly create one more account here. Let's say, for example, I'm creating account, say, whatever it is, this account. Let me save it. That means I've created one more account. If you go to this, if I query, it was giving total number of 13 records. It should be increased now to one more. It should be 14. Execute it. Okay, let me do this. I may refresh the grid. Look at this. I did the refresh the grid. Now the account count has been increased to 14. So this is what I'm doing is, it is your development part of it, right? So, and in Salesforce, if you quickly go back, that what all we need for the learning purpose. The first comes your admin. In admin, we have to understand a Salesforce platform. We have to understand the Salesforce platform. So there we have to understand the SaaS part of it. We have to understand how the platform runs, everything. You have to understand the SaaS part of it. And then comes your admin, and then score development. In development, we have to understand the platform, as where we have to know the language, like the language we use here called Apex programming, which is similar to Java, and we use HTML. Is similar. We use Visual Force. This Visual Force is nothing but similar to HTML, and we use JavaScript. We use this thing, Lightning, LWC, Lightning Web Component, LWC, which is similar to your JavaScript. So what I'm trying to say here, that whatever the traditional languages we have, same language it is used, getting utilized over here. If somebody knows Java or object-oriented concept, they can able to understand Apex programming. And for UI design, this is something your UI designs. This is for again UI design, but different UI here. So this is something we need as part of this. So now, if somebody wants to understand the admin only, that's fine. And then they can take a call here, right? So admin is something at the base of it. You have to, in order to proceed with your Salesforce, you have to understand the admin part first. Once you're through with the admin, then you can take a call, whether you want to go for development, whether you want to go testing, you're going for business analyst. That is different thing. But and even if you're new to the development, new to the programming, not a problem. So the programming is such a easy that you can able to understand here. Okay, so this is something about your basics of Salesforce. And I was referring something in Salesforce, the inbuilt applications available. Let me quickly show you that Salesforce provides Sales Cloud and Service Cloud. Let me just quickly show you one part of it. In Sales Cloud, what happens that we want to sell a product, and here what we do, we normally plan to develop the application, and in sales process we have leads, we have to do campaigning. In sales process we try to sell a product, right? So what we do here is basically we try to campaign the product we want to sell to the market, to the customer. After campaigning, looking at the campaign, though they will be interested, they will be treated as your lead. Then you have to first create a lead, and you saw that I'll just create a lead. Once lead is created, you have provision to convert a lead, right? So I'll show you that here in Salesforce, two different type of UIs are used. So the UI you are seeing here is called Lightning UI. In Salesforce, two types of UI are there. It is Lightning UI, and here option that you can switch to Classic. Hopefully you can see here, switch to Classic. Look at the UI, now it will be changed. Got it. This is now it looks different. The application you can choose here, sales, service, whatever. Let's say I'm choosing sales here. Look at this. The UI is completely changed. So basically, the point here is that in Salesforce, there are two types of UIs, two types of UIs. Sorry, it's two types of UIs. One is called Lightning, other is called Classic. The Classic is something first that has been given, Classic, and other is Lightning. Both the application, you have to know Apex programming first. But this is used for the backend programming, like with the way we do backend programming. Correct. And for UI, it may be either you can use Classic. If you're using Classic, you have to use Visual Force. And if you're using Lightning, you have to use Lightning Web Component. So in industry, when you go to development part of it, then Apex programming is a must. Then you have to take a call whether you have to learn UI for Visual Force or learn LWC. But in market, LWC is very much required. LWC is in hot. If you will simply say that I am very good at LWC, nothing, no need to worry about it. You will get a very good job. This is something I wanted to quickly help you, that I show you that this is a classic page. You have to switch to Lightning here. The pages are different. And let me go back to again classic. Look at this. If you go to account a classic, in classic you would create an account. Let's see, the UI is looking different here, correct? The same thing, you go to Lightning, it will look different. Look at this. The UI is different here. I can go for anything. I can go for leads, contacts, whatever. So you look at the UI, it is different. So that is what it is. So that's pretty much I want to show you. And do you have any questions, anybody? You can quickly ask me. And hopefully I wanted to kind of give a roadmap that what is that we want to understand here. And in terms of the knowledge perspective, so admin is the first, then you can go for, you can choose admin or anything extra you need. If you go for development, admin is for everybody. Then if you want to go for art development, then you have to take a call. Okay, so anybody, any questions?
Yes, sir. One question, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
So actually, I want to ask that whether in this class we'll be learning the development part of it also.
No. In the training part, it is both admin and development. If somebody only go for admin, that's a different thing. You can talk to ma'am, but we will be providing all the supports like Visual Force, LWC, backend. So moment you are done with the training, you will be ready for development, including admin part, because admin is the base that has to be completed. Then we'll go for the development.
Okay, sir. Okay. That is
And my recommendation will be those that are interested, they don't know much, they should complete admin followed by the Apex programming, and they should prefer more towards LWC because in market it is too much required.
yes, sir.
And the Visual Force is not that difficult. We'll be giving some basic demo on understanding on this. That's not a problem. But my recommendation should be go for this because everywhere it is required LWC. People simply say that I'm very good at LWC, people will hire you. Absolutely no problem.
So we'll be definitely learning about the development part of coding.
Correct. In fact, my recommendation will be don't worry and don't be too much of worry that difficult or easy. Let's start and go through this. That's why I wanted to kind of show you that how the basic program runs. That was my intention. So you saw now how easily we can able to see the program. That was the intention. So correct. Yeah. Any more questions? See, this is how simply looks like. It's a very user friendly. So many help you'll get.
Okay.
And if you ask me, C programming versus Apex programming is 2 times easier than C programming, because in C we know that everywhere we're using C programming.
Yes.
Yeah. More questions, please. And by the way, I have not tell you my background. So I am working in Salesforce since 2009. I have around, you can say, 12-13 years experience in Salesforce. Currently, I'm working as a project lead cum business analyst. So I went through all the development, everything. So I know the growth of Salesforce. I've seen What was
Yes,
it in 2009? What was it in 2012? I mean, I've seen there are people that I've recommended them to join Salesforce. Now they're getting more salary than me. Even they're junior 6 times. I mean, they're 6 years junior to me, but they're
okay.
getting more salary than me, and that's the truth.
Yeah.
But to be honest, you have to be focused. See, if you're really serious to learn, doesn't matter what background you are, you have to focus. You have to understand. You have to focus and you have to try and explore the way I'll be guiding you. Doesn't matter whether you know or doesn't know. That's not a matter. It's only your attitude to learn is required here. Everything will be easy then. Okay. More questions, please.
No, thank you, sir.
Okay. So do let us know if any questions. So okay. And thank you for joining. And it's nice interaction with you all. Let's see how it goes and let us know. Okay then. Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ashish. Thank you, Ashish.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Nima. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mayur. Thank you, Ashish.